This week on Siskel and Ebert, Bill Paxton and Billy Bob Thornton find a lot of cash and a whole lot of trouble in a simple plan.
Michael Caine discovers a songbird called Little Voice.
And an unlikely hero leads his people to freedom in The Prince of Egypt.
The story of Moses and how he led the Hebrew people out of slavery is told in The Prince of Egypt, one of 5 new films we'll be reviewing this week on Siskel and Ebert. I'm Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times.
And I'm Gene Siskel of the Chicago Tribune. Our first film is the strikingly animated feature, The Prince of Egypt, which tells the same story from bulrushes to the Red Sea as the biblical spectacular The Ten Commandments from the 50s. And here, the baby Moses is discovered by the Egyptian queen, voiced by Helen Mirren.
Come, Ramesses. We will show Pharaoh your new baby brother, Moses.
As Moses grows up and is treated like a prince, he is raised with a natural rival, a genuine prince, the Pharaoh's son, Ramses, voiced by Ralph Fiennes. Moses' voice here is supplied by Val Kilmer.
Come on, Moses, admit it, you've always looked up to me.
Yes, but it's not much of a view.
Eventually, Moses learns the truth when he encounters his long-lost siblings, Miriam, voiced by Sandra Bullock, and Aaron, voiced by Jeff Goldblum.
She's exhausted from the day's work. Not that it was too much. We quite enjoyed it, but she's confused and knows not to whom she speaks.
I know to whom I speak, Aaron. I know who you are, and you are not a prince of Egypt.
Miriam.
I always think music plays a big role in the success of an animated feature, and The Prince of Egypt has some memorable songs.
How do you judge what a man is worth? By what he builds or buys. You can never see with your eyes on earth. Look through heaven's eyes. Look at your life. Look at your life. Look at your life through heaven's eyes.
So what we have here is a classic story, well told, beautifully drawn, with an occasional musical sequence that's memorable. That's more than enough for me to give thumbs up to The Prince of Egypt.
Oh, I get thumbs up too, Gene. I thought this was a wonderful animated film, and all the more so because it tells a genuine, legendary, and historical story and doesn't necessarily cute it up into all kinds of stuff with little, cute little Egyptian birds dancing around and so forth. And the thing that kind of struck me, not long ago I saw Cecil B. DeMille's original silent version of the Ten Commandments, and then of course he made the famous sound version. And this has now become kind of like a movie archetype with the slaves groaning as they try to pull these enormous rocks to build the pyramids, and the slave drivers and the pharaoh and so forth. And it becomes an enormously powerful story that actually it was DeMille who first set into motion, because his visual ideas from the 20s are still being used now in the 90s.
We both know that animation was originally used to make fables come alive, classic stories. Well, this is, of course, one of the key stories in human history, and you're quite right. It has an energy, even though we know it. So and actually, in a sense, because we know it, we can sit back and appreciate the artfulness of the film.
What about the great scene everybody remembers from seeing Ten Commandments on television, the parting of the Red Sea? It is done so well here. I mean, the way that the animation makes the water seem to stand up looks really so much more convincing than the special effects in the live action film.
Also, I felt that during the story, a little religiosity did creep through. There was some moments when you thought a value system was being presented.
I agree with you. You know, I love animation. I love it most of all when it gets a little bit off the beaten path, because it doesn't all have to be just cute little talking animals. It can sometimes deal with great stories and great concepts, and here's an example where it does. Okay, next movie. And our next movie is Shattered Image, a film so deliberately difficult to view that I felt like the subject of an experiment while I was watching it. One of those experiments where they prop your eyelids open with the toothpicks.
If you're about to tell me you understand this picture...
Oh, I do.
If I were wearing a hat, I'd take it off.
I understand this picture. I understand...
Good for you.
First of all, most of all, I understand what I don't understand about it. As the film opens, we meet Anne Perriot as a contract killer who murders men for hire. Her name is Jessie, and her male friend is Brian, played by William Baldwin.
You're still here.
Sex, sleep. We're forgetting one of the bare necessities. Come on, help me out.
Privacy.
Then we meet another Jessie, also played by Perriot, but in a kinder, gentler version. This Jessie is a newlywed on a honeymoon, also with a man named Brian, also played by William Baldwin. In Jamaica, they meet a woman named Paula, played by Lisanne Falk.
Don't suppose I'll be seeing much of you two, considering. Watch him like a hawk.
The honeymooning Jessie is disturbed by dreams of the killer Jessie, or is it that the killer Jessie is disturbed by dreams of the honeymooning Jessie?
Why does it bother you so much?
Because I'm so weak in that dream. Because I think someone is trying to kill me in it.
We don't know who is dreaming and who is real, and neither does Jessie, until the end, when the solution is not nearly rewarding enough to repay me for all the thought that I had to put into this movie. I like puzzles when they can be solved and when the solution is intriguing, but not puzzles just for the sake of puzzlement.
You explained it beautifully. It's perfectly...
I'll go into the ending in more detail, but I wouldn't want to give it away.
I just think people at home are, you know, picking up old newspapers to read, anything, you know.
Well, anyway, here's a movie about a woman who either does or doesn't think, or doesn't think that she either does or doesn't do any of this stuff, and at the end you find out whether she did or didn't.
And how about the big surprise that some glass is shattered at the end of the film? Come on.
All the way through, there's a kind of a shatter. Whenever the telephone rings or something, it puts her over into the other mode, and it put me over into the other mode, too.
Coming up later in the show, Bill Paxton and Billy Bob Thornton find $4 million and scheme to keep it with a simple plan.
It's stealing. It's the American dream in a gym bag. He just wants to walk away from it.
And coming up next, Michael Caine intends to make a star of a young woman called Little Voice.
You've got Judy Garland in there. You can do a lot with that.
It'll cost you. Meet Hallie.
I'm not Hallie.
Right, Annie.
Are you sure I'm Annie?
Hallie?
You talking to me?
Annie?
Yes.
Find out who's who and catch all the fun.
Thank you very much.
Disney's The Parent Trap, rated PG, coming to video this Tuesday.
Sit back, relax, it's gonna be a long one.
And I hope the food is better this flight.
It isn't.
What's that?
Balanced nutrition bar.
A nutrition bar? I'd rather eat airline food.
These taste really great.
Right, a nutrition bar with great taste. That'll happen when pigs fly.
Bob?
With half the fat of the leading candy bar, Balanced Nutrition Bars satisfy your hunger in a variety of great tasting, all-natural flavors.
Good.
So, get some balance in your life.
I'm a mom and a pharmacist. It's my job to know that the best therapeutic lotion available without a prescription is Curel.
Curel moisturizes better than any leading therapeutic lotion.
It just heals dry skin better.
You can see the cure in Curel.
You like Marilyn, yeah?
Yeah.
Can you do her as well? There you go.
I have this thing about saxophone players. I don't know what it is. My spine turns to custard. I get goose pimply all over.
A tacky showman played by Michael Caine tries to convince a young woman that she can have a show business career. And her mother is enthusiastic too. That's the setup for our next film, the entertaining Little Voice, which takes us into a working-class English family and shows us how the possibility of stardom for one member of the family affects them all. The talented one is a shy young woman who has the amazing ability to replicate the voices of famous singers.
I wouldn't bring you down here for nothing. You've got to...
Skies are blue.
The dreams, they that you dare to dream really do come true.
And that's Jane Horrocks as the title character, called LV, short for Little Voice. And she actually performed all of her musical numbers in the film. The other key character in the story is LV's overbearing mother, a vulgar loose cannon who doesn't support her daughter, at least not at first. She's played memorably by Oscar nominee Brenda Blethyn from Secrets and Lies.
Listen, Ray'll look after you. He knows all about showbiz, and all you have to do is sing. Sing! Like what you do best anyway. You might feel shy.
Got nothing wrong with being shy at first.
It's natural, that.
I had a girl recently, wouldn't say boo to a goose. Now she's topping the bill at the Reform Club.
Who's that? That stripper?
Little Voice has an authentic working-class quality that grounds LV's extraordinary talent in reality. The film reminds me of the movie Shine from a couple years ago, albeit in a more lighthearted way. Think about it. Both involve exceptional talents, struggling to flourish in nearly crippling environments. Thumbs up from me on Little Voice.
Oh, thumbs up for me, too. And it's amazing that Jane Horrocks has this voice inside of her. She's a small woman. Remember her from Life is Sweet, the Mike Leigh picture, and also from Absolutely Fabulous on British television. I think it's wise that the first credit on the screen after the movie is over tells you that is really her singing, because you assume she has to be lip-syncing to recordings. She sounds so right, and not just as Judy Garland, but as Billie Holiday and as Shirley Bassey. Yeah. She got a fabulous voice.
Oh, yeah.
The only objection I have to the film is that Michael Caine turns mean at the end, and I don't think that's necessary. I think he could have been the same easygoing, you know, sleazy club promoter from beginning to end. He doesn't have to have that character change.
It's true, because the character he reminded me of the most, of course, in film history was Max Bialystock.
Max Bialystock,
from the producers.
The great Zero Mostel performance. When we come back, Bill Paxton and Billy Bob Thornton think they can get rich with a simple plan.
We gotta make this look like it was an accident.
Oh, my God, look at this. Oh, my God. How much you think is in here?
God almighty. These are $100 bills.
Three Midwestern hunters find a plane crash in a bag of money, lots of money, and that's the setup for A Simple Plan, which is a fine psychological thriller that digs deeper and deeper into the values and the dreams of these small-town men. They think of calling the police, but no, they decide to keep the money and split it three ways. Bill Paxton plays the college graduate, Billy Bob Thornton is his slow-witted brother, and Brent Briscoe is Thornton's hard-drinking buddy. It's Billy Bob who just can't keep a secret. He's already blurted out to the sheriff that he heard a plane with engine trouble.
Now when they find the plane, they realize the money's gone, they're gonna know right off who took it.
Well, that's what's cool about it, though, Hank. I mean, you know, if we wouldn't tell somebody if we were the ones that did it.
I mean, it's not like he said that you actually saw a plane going down. Just you thought you might have heard one with engine trouble.
You want me to burn the money? I am not going to prison over this.
Bridget Fonda plays Paxton's wife, who is really the smartest of them all and has lots of apparently good ideas.
You have to go back and return some of the money.
What?
A lot. Like 500,000. That way when they find the plane, they'll assume nobody's been there yet.
As their scheme begins to come apart, Thornton, in a great scene, confides secrets he's never told his brother ever before.
God, Hank, you know, I've never even kissed a girl before. So, you know, if being rich will change that, I'm all for it.
And Fonda has a great scene, too, after Paxton begins to think it would have been better never to have found that money.
Is that what you think? Is that what you think you want? Walking off to the feed store every morning for the next 30 years, waiting for Tom Butler to retire or die so you can finally get a raise?
A Simple Plan was directed by Sam Raimi, previously known for his entertaining horror films like Evil Dead 2. With this film, he steps right up to the A-list. A Simple Plan is as powerful, observant, and merciless as In Cold Blood. And it's impressive the way Raimi and his actors make these characters seem so real, so convincing, so carefully seen, so persuasively motivated at every moment, so that everything that happens seems to have a reason. In a way, this is a thriller, but in another way, it could be a story by Dostoevsky. I think it's one of the year's best films.
I think it's very good, and I'm glad you credited the director. From the beginning of the film, you know you're in the hands of a director.
Yes.
There's a sense of foreboding, and he's got the rhythm right, so that as they, you know, discover another idea. The timing seems right. And that's something frequently that's all wrong in this kind of, listen, we have seen these kinds of stories of botched plans, but you know, they jump ahead too quickly to some action sequence.
That's exactly right. You can see what leads them to each step.
Right.
And you know, a couple of weeks ago, we reviewed this horrible film, Very Bad Things, which took a bunch of guys who think of calling the cops and then decide to keep it a secret and tries to turn it into a comedy, things that are not funny. I said at that time, if they played it straight, it might have been a better movie. Here's a somewhat similar plot. Three guys covering things up. They do play it straight. It is an incomparably better movie.
And credit a director. I mean, this is a film that kids in film school could study for how this guy establishes a mood, foreboding, and then pacing.
Absolutely, Sam Raimi. Okay, next movie. And our next movie is a touching and entertaining film from Brazil named Central Station, which tells the story of a reluctant friendship between a hard-working woman and a homeless little boy. Every day, she takes her place in the train station to compose letters for poor people who can't read and write. One day, the small boy asked her to write a letter for him.
Pai, vem aqui no Rio que minha mãe se machucou.
Você tem dinheiro?
Tenho.
Mostra. Mostra.
That's Fernanda Montenegro as Dora and Vinicius de Oliveira as the boy, whose life gets even worse when his mother is killed in a traffic accident. The boy turns to Dora for help, but at first she wants nothing at all to do with him.
Meu Deus, eu não sei o que eu fiz a Deus para merecer isso, eu não sei. Você é um castigo na minha vida.
Eu tô com fome.
Não, aí eu não tenho fome, não é? Eu não tenho fome, só você.
She is the only adult he knows in Rio, and eventually she can push him away no longer. Little by little, she agrees to go on a journey with him to try to track down his father.
Você não quer vir comigo, hein? Moleque, eu gostaria. Você sabe.
Central Station was directed by Walter Salles, and at the Toronto Film Festival, I met him and Vinicius de Oliveira, who plays the young boy. Salles had rejected dozens of professional actors in trying to cast that role when he discovered Vinicius as a shoeshine boy in the airport who begged the director for the price of a sandwich. Looking at him, Salles somehow knew this kid could play the role, and boy was he right, and the role has turned the kid's life totally around. The plot of Central Station is a fairly standard road movie, but it's made fresh by the unfamiliar locations, and it's made touching by the bond between these two so different actors.
I didn't have the personal connection to this film that you do. I didn't meet the players, but I did connect with this boy nonetheless. And frequently in the movies, children are used as taking the moral temperature of a society because they're pure innocence and we see what they have to endure. So this picture is in that tradition. I mean, the 400 Blows, all that kind of work, and I think it is effective in that regard.
Very much so. And when they finally get to this isolated town in the middle of nowhere where the father may or may not live, what happens there is not entirely predictable. It's not, doesn't just play out in kind of a standard way. And it's interesting to see modern Brazil in the background of every shot.
Yeah, it works as a travelogue.
When we come back, a look at the rapidly emerging DVD video format.
In the beginning, Nick fell for Elizabeth, but now he's fallen for Meredith.
No way.
So Hallie and Annie are doing everything they can.
They're recreating the night we met.
To make Nick and Elizabeth fall in love again. Own Disney's The Parent Trap, rated PG, coming to video this Tuesday.
Need any help?
Absolutely fine, thank you.
Are you lost?
Grazie. Where is Cafe Verita?
It's right there.
Ah! Hey, please, you join me.
Is this Italian?
The best.
Ecco domani. What does that mean?
Yeah, not a clue.
Ecco domani. It means Italian.
I'm a mom and a pharmacist. It's my job to know that the best therapeutic lotion available without a prescription is Curel.
Curel moisturizes better than any leading therapeutic lotion.
It just heals dry skin better.
You can see the cure in Curel.
Siskel and Ebert's Video Pick of the Week is brought to you by Nestle Raisinets. At the movies or at home, Raisinets.
My video pick this week is a new format that seems to be quickly gaining in popularity, and I'm talking about DVD discs. The movies that come on disc the size of music CDs are reasonably priced and can be rented in a lot of places and deliver a picture and sound which are twice as good as standard videotapes. There are now about 2,000 titles available on DVD, and I've made a selection from new releases that came out just this week. For example, the DVD version of Good Will Hunting with no less than 11 scenes that were not used in the movie.
It's like tic-tac-toe. There's your arithmetic progression right there.
Yeah, it would appear we got that proof in under the wire after all.
Then there's the DVD of The Wild One with landmark performances from early in their careers by Marlon Brando and Lee Marvin as motorcycle gang members.
That's better, Johnny. You know, I missed you. Ever since the club split up, I missed you. We all missed you.
I've been teaching a class in silent films, and one title we enjoyed was The Thief of Bagdad with Douglas Fairbanks Sr. I'm told that Laserdiscs, a format I've admired and loved for 13 years, are on their way out in 1999. The movie industry is solidly behind DVDs, which are cheaper to make and provide much better pictures, especially than tape. DVD machines are available for around $300. There's a competing format named DivX, D-I-V-X, where you buy a disc for $4 or $5, can watch it twice within a 48-hour period, and don't have to take it back. Maybe that appeals to you. I don't think the plan makes much sense because viewers like to go back to the store to rent their new titles. And besides, DivX doesn't have many titles available. If you're thinking for a video upgrade for the holidays, I recommend just plain DVD.
Star Trek is a culture. It's about hope, diversity, camaraderie.
It's part of us.
It's about technology.
Tricorders.
Replicators. Transporter. Computers.
And the phasers. Oh.
There's a new movie coming out.
I have visited the website.
Engage. You can buy everything online.
Where else would you buy a Borg?
Coming soon, one of the best online stores in the universe. The Star Trek Online Store, an IBM e-business.
I've asked Patty to show you how easy it is to use 1010-9000, the only number you need to get directory assistance anywhere in America. Watch. Patty just dials 1010-9000 and tells the operator whose number she wants.
Leslie Weller, Denver.
The operator finds the number, even offers to dial it with no connection charge.
No connection charge? Sure, dial it for me.
With 1010-9000, it's that easy. 1010-9000, directory assistance for everyone in America.
Now let's take another look at the movies we reviewed on this week's show. 2 thumbs up for the biblical animated epic, The Prince of Egypt. It opens on December 18th. 2 thumbs down for Shattered Image, a psychological would-be thriller that has a plot that defies understanding. 2 thumbs up for Little Voice, with the fine performances of Jane Horrocks, Michael Caine, and Brenda Blethyn. 2 thumbs up for A Simple Plan, a razor-sharp thriller starring Bill Paxton and Billy Bob Thornton, well directed by Sam Raimi. It opens next week. And finally, 2 thumbs up for the heartwarming road movie from Brazil, Central Station.
Remember, you can hear our reviews on the web at Siskel-Ebert.com, and next week we'll be back with reviews of more new movies, including Star Trek Insurrection with Patrick Stewart and the crew of the Enterprise pitted against the Federation. Also, Psycho, a shot-by-shot remake of the Hitchcock classic starring Anne Heche and Vince Vaughn. That's next week, and until then, the balcony is closed.
When it comes to consumer electronics, everything you need to make an informed decision is now in one place. 800.com, the ultimate electronics zone.
There's one way to guarantee whiter teeth. Rapid White by Natural White whitens teeth. Safe, effective. Rapid White by Natural White, we guarantee whiter teeth.
Embark on the Mist Challenge with your friends. Enjoy twists and turns never before seen in a board game. The Mist Board Game by University Games.
The new Roger Ebert's Movie Yearbook 1999, now with every recent Ebert movie review, available at bookstores everywhere.